The only window that needs fixing is this. The back, no. That was already dealt with and I already spoke to your colleague.
She's refusing our
Okay. Fine, fair enough.
It's because it was...
If that was going to be the case.
Basically, that window, when it's propped open, has been broken by other residents and people several times.
That's fine.
Yeah, I explained that to my office.
Yeah.
I've already explained that.
Yeah, I spoke to you before and you understood what I was saying. Yeah, I'm not trying to be a troublemaker or anything.
Yeah, but we've been instructed to fix that window.
But was it by the CEO or was it by a local?
No, we're just the engineers.
Yeah.
If you're not going to allow us entry, then I have to report it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not trying to be an arsehole or anything. Yeah, because the CEO knew about all of that, and the only window that needs fixing is this one.
Alright.
Perhaps it's this one he meant.
Okay, no worries. Alright, cheers, Emma. Bye. Alright, thanks.
Perhaps it's this one he meant.
No, we're not here to fix that.
Alright then, okay. This hasn't been ordered by the CEO, and it was the CEO that I spoke to directly about the ground floor window, and it's the CEO that had it fixed and secured like that. The CEO of Peabody, not the lower level member staff. This is also the guy that has the Egyptian tattoos. I'm not saying he's involved in anything perverted, I'm not saying that at all. And it's not triggering me because I'm feeling strong. But this hasn't been ordered, but that's the thing I did say before. The ground floor window, right, I dealt with the CEO of Peabody directly, and it was the CEO that had it shut like that because I informed the CEO that it had been broken on several occasions and that I had already been attacked by a stranger at my front door, that each time it was fixed someone broke it again and again and again. So I spoke to him, I communicated with him via email saying that it needs to be locked shut for the safety. Now the people that are ordering it keep ordering it to be broken open again, because the thing is, once it gets opened like that window, which is on a higher floor, what's going to happen is it's going to get broken again, and then my black supremacist neighbours are going to say that I did it. Now, I'm not having that happen again, and at the end of the day, if the CEO was happy for that to be locked shut, secured shut, then that's who, lower level staff members involved in crime against me and racism towards me because they're helping people within Lambeth Council and, Councillor Donata Senianwe. The window is completely secure, it's absolutely fine, it doesn't need fixing. This is probably happening right now because I put up a picture of Councillor Donata Senianwe on Facebook again saying he's involved in terrorism. This is this sort of thing that's been happening and I've been singled out. And once they open it up downstairs, what's going to happen is it's going to get broken again. And then I'm going to be blamed for it by the black supremacists. Because they're trying to criminalise me for trying to report crime. They're also trying to criminalise me for telling the truth about their abuse. of me. If the job wasn't ordered by the CEO, you need to understand the staff that are doing this are involved in the crimes that I've mentioned, and they're lower level. And the only thing that needs fixing is in the front door. The timing, again, you have to understand, I put up a picture of Councillor Donatien Animal on Facebook, and I also speak on a different thing online about Loughborough Estate Management Board, which has got some interest, and then suddenly this happens. That's because certain peoples within the housing department of Lambeth, whether it be Peabody Trust, Loughborough Estate Management Board, doesn't really matter. They're involved in serious crime, and I've got evidence against them, and they know that I've got that evidence against them, and what they are concerned about is that I get taken seriously. Hence why they've got me in a block full of black supremacists who are criminalising me, and criminalising me even further, and penalising me for telling the truth about being abused by black supremacists. Now this is connected to the Labour Party. This is to do with this. Basically what's happened, it's like, oh quick, let's try and see if we can get that window open, trigger her at the same time, get that window open, and then have it broken by somebody that she gets blamed for it. Now, I was meant to get ready to go and see my mum, but I have to hang around till these people go. Because I'm not going to allow them to put the situation where I end up getting blamed for something I haven't done. I already had a neighbour making a false report about me to police saying that I was committing criminal damage when I wasn't. Because when I first went out, the door was locked and I filmed it and documented every bit of it. Another thing that's happened is I actually made a video talking about things that happened to me when I was younger and my life when I was younger. And that video disappeared from the particular device I had, completely disappeared, because they'd messed with my records in the council and trying to cover up the fact that I was abused in Lambeth Social Services. They also tried to mess with my identity, targeting me online. Like I said, if a housing team or people in the council housing department are involved in fraud, then why on earth are you going to commit any act of terrorism towards any British citizen to cover up that fraud? So that's Northwood Glass. So I will send an email communication to the person I spoke to in the first place about that window, which was the CEO, and the CEO of Peabody is obviously not doing this to me, because he responded by having it secured shut because he agreed with that. But some of the communications between me and CEO have also been interfered with by lower level staff members that are involved in these crimes. Councillor Donatien is a really dangerous individual. So is Loughborough Estate Management Board. And I put out information today that was taken up by somebody else, and I think, because you have to understand, some of the low-level staff members are being paid by Labour Party members in Lambeth Council, money that's been stolen from the various departments, to do this to me to cover up the crimes they're involved in. Well, if you want to cover up crime of fraud, you don't commit terrorism, you don't keep abusing a British woman. And I have every right to say that I'm being abused by black people without being I should not be penalised and persecuted and punished for saying that. It isn't just black people that have been involved in what's been happening to me, there are others. However, it is them that are committing the most serious levels of terrorism and persecution. Like I said, if Loughborough Estate Management Board and other people within Lambeth Council, Labour Party and the Housing Department did not want me to carry on doing this, then they should have stopped with the terrorism against me a long time ago. They should not be holding me hostage whatsoever in this block being abused by black supremacists. Stopping all different communications and whatnot, going all the way up to the Houses of Parliament. I would not in any way, shape and form have even continued going at the Housing Department if they had not committed serious acts of terrorism on me and my family. Now, I don't blame these individuals for what's happened. They are not aware of the abuse that I've been sustaining at the hands of people involved in high-level corruption and fraud and terrorism. This is a punishment because somebody listened to me today. This is why I'm blocked from communicating online, and this is another thing that people have to understand. It's not the high-level people in Peabody that are doing this. This is a handful of people that are being paid by Councillor Donata Seni-Anwu and others in Lambeth Council to abuse me every time I get evidence out of what they're involved in doing to people. And today I did exactly that. Some of what I've gone through and the evidence of the terrorism of the Housing Department, people within Lambeth Council that they've been doing towards me has got out. This is a form of punishment. Now the CEO is the one who ordered for this window on the ground floor to be drilled into place because it has been broken on several occasions, and then people have been blaming me for breaking it, and I never did that once. And during the time that it was broken, I was violently attacked at my front door by a stranger. This is not going to work out, because at the end of the day, there are actually some people in some places that already have a very good idea as to what these Nigerians have been doing to me. It's not quiet anymore. People do actually know. And this is just another layer of evidence that people within Peabody, some of the staff members within Peabody, are involved in doing this. And this is a punishment because some of that evidence got out to another person today. Remember, I was moved through the emergency panel in Lambeth, a rape victim and a victim of attempted murder. I have been abused for 5 years since living here. Persecuted, had my identity messed with, my family targeted, and this has gone on and on and on. I've experienced serious violence as well. There are people who are involved who have been on payroll, and this is too serious. Because at the end of the day, if the CEO, who's above the staff who are connected with Councillor Donata Seni-Anwu and others in the council who are involved in fraud, if he ordered for that window on the ground floor to be locked shut for the safety and well-being of vulnerable residents such as myself, then that is that. It's final. Lower-level staff members who are on payroll for people involved in high-level fraud, corruption and terrorism cannot be, trying to take over a job which was already put in by the CEO. Yeah, because the lower level staff members who are involved and connected to what's been happening to me can't override what the CEO has said of Peabody Trust. That can't be overridden. And I'm not trying to be ignorant or disgusting, but at the end of the day, I should never have been treated like this in the first place. And if I was moved from Loughborough Estate under emergency transfer, I should have been safe the whole time. The evidence of their fraud would have been long thrown away. I would have forgotten about Loughborough Estate Management Board a long time ago. I'm not trying to be an arsehole, but I have been a victim of terrorism due to them. And who in their right mind uses acts of terrorism to cover up fraud? Now, these are people that, want to play race card, but at the end of the day, if you are coming to live in England, and there are millions of people that come to live in England and they do not commit terrorism. There are millions of people that come to live in England and they do not commit terrorism. They don't harm anyone. They don't commit any crime whatsoever. Now, I have the right to point out those that do. I mean, there are several people involved in crime that were not born here and have no loyalty to this country. And remember, one of the people that tried to murder me was a Polish national. So playing race card has got to stop, because I've got evidence of people who are involved in this and the terrorism and persecution of me who have the same skin colour as myself, such as Pesman Fard, Dr. Luke Skelton, Dr. Dutton. They should have dropped it a long time ago. If in 2020 they left it alone, if they didn't illegally imprison me for 10 hours for a mental breakdown that they had caused, and I would have never even found out about those crimes if they hadn't been mistreating me for a whole year prior, after I was nearly murdered by that Polish national and targeted by various people on Loughborough Estate, including the estate mentality chav types. I've put a post up on